Hey, my elevators. This is Elle Beecham, owner, creator, and founder of the Elevate Movement, which is a naturopathic approach to healing and mental health. I got my road dog with me, and we decided to come to the park near me in South Lake, and I just needed to reset. So there are a lot of times when I'm going through, and I often feel like, everybody wants to see me when I'm firing on all cylinders. I'm at 100%. But today was actually a doozy for me. When I say a doozy, I mean crying, confusion, asking what if, what's my purpose? Am I doing the things that I need to be doing? Am I helping, the right people? Do I need to be on a larger scale? I just had so many thoughts, So with that, I wanted to stop by just to drop like a lot of random nuggets that I had today. Like, these are my thoughts. So when it comes to dating, keep kissing frogs. Like, keep kissing frogs until you meet your person. When your person comes, I promise you, you will absolutely know. They will not come in confusion. It will be, you guys will automatically hit it off. You'll get along. You will know that this person is something special. Now, with that, there may be some bumps in the road. You guys may not get along and see eye to eye on everything. You may have some communication challenges and things like that, but the overarching goal, or the goals that you guys have, they should align. That's the first thing. The other thing, how you know that, this is your person, and it's you can work towards this. That person doesn't want to, release you. They understand the work that has to be done on both parts. So it's not just you making mistakes. It's not just them making mistakes, but together you guys are trying to come together and see what's necessary, for the benefit of the relationship. So keep kissing frogs when it comes to this dating thing. And I wrote these things down so I wouldn't forget. I saw a documentary on Netflix, and it was called Live to 100. And they captured like so many villages and cities in Japan where they had a lot of centennials who lived, past 100 years old. And in the United States, for every one centennial male, there's 5 centennial women. But in these blue zone areas in Japan, the ratio was 1-to-1. So 1 man to 1 woman who had lived over 100 years old. And I thought that was beautiful. And some of the things that they talked about in the documentary to ensure that you have this long lasting life. It talked about family. It talked about community. It talked about movement, the proper diet. See, over here, we were taught that starches were, high in cholesterol and just bad for you overall. But there was one tribe or village who ate a lot of rice and pasta. But because they moved all day long, it did not impact them. So while we have this thing that, starches are really bad for us, that could be, the case because we process our food a lot differently than, foreign countries and other places. We do a lot of dietary supplements. We do a lot of organic food. We have gym memberships, and these people don't have none of that. It was Singapore, Japan, they captured. Those are the only 2 countries that I remember. Yeah, those are the only ones that I remember. But over there, these people have physical activity like all day long. So look around you and see, what you can do to improve, like your health, your vitality, your diet, strengthen your communities as far as your relationships with other people. Make sure you're loving on people. Make sure, that they are loving on you so that you can, be the person that you were called to be. And just be your highest self. Another thing that I thought about today was every lesson that we learn, it does not have to be learned in chaos. So it doesn't have to come from a heartbreak. It doesn't have to come from an argument. It doesn't have to come from bullshit. It can absolutely come and derive from like something that's good, that feels good. It can be rooted in love. It can be rooted in beauty. It can be rooted in conversation. It can be rooted in something healthy. But the people that are involved, if people are teaching you a lesson, the people who are teaching you the lesson, they have to be willing to surrender and submit and communicate like effectively. Lessons don't have to come by way of something nasty, like it just doesn't. You can absolutely learn a lesson and it be in peace. Like, somebody can leave your life in peace. It doesn't have to be a lot of hurt. It doesn't have to be a lot of pain. You can say, I release this person because they no longer serve me. I learned this lesson by way of this person because they weren't, good for me anymore. So with that, like, you can absolutely learn a lesson, and it's your perception. So if you want peaceful lessons, ask God. No. Come here. Ask God, ask the universe to allow you to learn a lesson and get the best thing out of it. Ask God to give you this lesson in peace. Even when it hurts, ask God to show you the beauty in it. Even when it's uncomfortable, ask God to show you how you can be comfortable in this, how you can take this situation into your next relationship, marriage, job, just your everyday life, and be better by way of this lesson. So lessons can be learned peacefully. They do not have to be learned in chaos. The next thing is having an appreciation and gratitude for the people that are in my life, who've been in my life now, and the ones who are exiting, because they've taught me so much about myself. I've learned so many lessons within the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it shows me that I still have this little girl void and attachment issues of wanting relationship. Like, I didn't have a strong familial foundation other than my grandmother, right? And then like relationships just here and there, with relatives. But the most solid relationship that I had as a child was that with my grandmother. And now that, she's getting older and, we don't hang out as much, like, I'm really realizing that I need community, like I need people in my life. So with that, I found myself attaching myself to people, places, things, and ideas that maybe they don't serve me. And when it's time to let them go, like, it stings, that lets me know that I'm human. That lets me know that, my heart still beats. It lets me know that I can feel. It lets me know that I have the capacity to love. But maybe, overlooking some things because of that void. Maybe not weighing things properly. So, just within these last couple of months, I've lost some people that I really cared about, and I had to be honest about that. I love these people and they're no longer in my life, so what am I going to do, and how do I fill that void? The next thing is I'm going to see my daughter this weekend. I just decided, I was like, what? I'm going through so many things emotionally. Usually she and I are on the same cadence when it comes to like drama in our lives. Like, I can just kind of tap in. So Friday and Saturday, I talked to her. I was getting ready to do my pop-up vending show, and she was like, Mommy, I'm just having a day. I'm just having a moment. And everything just seemed like, it's going all wrong. And I was like, wow. I said, so is Mommy. I said, but we're here for each other. Like, we have to lean on each other. And I'm just glad that, you are open enough to talk to me, and you and I can kind of go back and forth, and, I can support her through her situation. Our relationship is so good. And I'm just so proud of her. So I just need to lay eyes on her. I need to go down and just love on her real good. Show her, that Mommy is still here. Mommy loves you. And yeah, that's that. So, toxic love. Like, toxic love can absolutely resonate with you through all of your deficiencies, through your negative traumas that you've had in your life. You can convince yourself that this feels good even when you know that it's not good for you. And this could be a person, place, or thing. So when something is toxic, you know you need to get rid of it. You may be connecting with that thing or that person, through a trauma. You may be connecting with, that thing or that person through like a past hurt, or, like a Me Too situation. They got, something, you got something, and y'all be like, oh, you went through that too? Oh, me too. So now you're trying to bond and attach yourself. It could also be that you have so many arguments and fights, and they can be so bad that two people, they don't know how to argue healthily. Like, that's a thing. I learned in school, in my psychology coursework or whatever, that we have to set the rules for fighting. I know it sounds crazy, but there should be some things that's off limits. There should be some things that we just absolutely do not do. And with that, like, you got to say, like, hey, we don't name call, we don't curse, we don't yell, we respect the other person if we need to take a beat, and circle back, to have this conversation. It's just so much stuff. But like, toxic love is one that is so hard to let go of. It's so confusing because it's bad for us. We know it's bad for us, but it feels good. And we do all of these things to pacify ourselves and tell ourselves that we need to stay here. Like, this is good for us. But in the toxic love, it can reverse itself if you have two people who are willing to do the work. Now, that should be in every situation. That should be in every relationship. Everybody should be trying to be their highest selves, but that's just not the case. Like, some people will know that they need to change and just won't. Some people will know that, they have abandonment issues or whatever, and they try to hold on to the other person, super tough, or, control what they do and what they don't do. Like, I know that those things exist, with me. So when I see them and when they are present and somebody bring them to my attention, it really hurts my feelings, because I don't want to be that person. I want to be this free spirited person. So when things are brought to my attention and I start going through a lot of emotional things at one time, I know I need to come back out here and just ground and recenter. So when it comes to toxic love, be aware of it. Ask yourself whether or not you need to break away. How do you break away in peace? How do you learn the lessons in peace? How do you go in love? How do you send that other person away in love? And the last thing was, how do you silence the noise? So all of the things that you hear that's in your head, like the negative chatter, the negative self-talk, the negative nuances, just daily nuances that may occur in your life. Like, we have the tendency to turn those into negative things, when I have just been really working on priding myself on how can I operate in every capacity from a glass half full. When you operate from a glass half empty, you see everything negatively. I have a few people in my life like that, and when I tell you they are draining, and the friend that I just lost, she was that way, and I'm so glad, like, the universe released us from each other, because it had become so toxic and so draining, which is probably another reason that I'm in this state, because I wasn't taking the time for me. I wasn't taking the time to come back and regroup. I wasn't taking the time to process my own feelings. I wasn't taking the time to acknowledge, like, are you okay? Are you even in a space to help her, to avail yourself to her? And we have to do that, as healers and, mental health professionals, just human beings all together. You have to do a check-in with yourself. Hey, girl, you okay? Hey, boy, you good? Like, can you do this today? Do you have the bandwidth? Do you have the capacity to show up for somebody else? Have you shown up for you today? That's the thing. You got to make sure you're showing up for you. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't myself. Like, I was so busy trying to help everybody else, and I forgot about me. Like, I'm the most important person in the equation, and I forgot about me. So I'm trying to make sure everybody else is okay. I'm trying not to hurt feelings. I'm trying not to say certain things. I'm trying not to, say that I'm lacking. I'm trying not to complain. I'm trying not to do all of these things, when the truth is, I got to be honest. I got to be transparent. In situations where I'm not getting enough, I need to ask myself, is this an internal void, or is this person really neglecting me? Or is this person really not showing up for me? When I need more intimacy, conversation, time, money, whatever it is it something I can do myself, or is this something that, I've placed on somebody else? Like, we got to make sure that if it's ours, we got to own it. And if it's somebody else's, are they in a space where they can share and give this to us? So this is just a video of a whole lot of randomness. I'm sitting at the park or whatever, like, I'm in my zone. When I say I'm in my zone, baby, I'm in my zone. Listening to the water, people watching, rubbing on my dog. Like, this is just a beautiful space, and it allows me to reset. Coming out here, I was a crying mess. Do you hear me? I mean, I was snotting and everything. But now that I'm here, like, all is okay with the world. I feel like I can go on a bit. I feel like I got more work to do. So now the challenge is, how am I going to take my business and my career to the next level? Like, what's next steps for me? So thank you for listening to me ramble on about, all the random thoughts that I had today. I just hope this video, can help someone. It helps me, to know that I can be of service. I love to help people. I love to be helped as well. I don't know everything, but the things that I do know, I'm willing to share. So until my next video, elevators, thank you so much, for just loving and supporting me. I thank you for all the kind messages that I get, from DMs to people openly expressing themselves to me, opening up to me without even knowing me. I'm grateful for when I go out in public, people are saying, like, oh my goodness, you're so cute, or, you're so warm, you're so easy to talk to. I love your fashion. Like, the way I dress and the way I carry myself, even though I'm quiet, it's very inviting. So people come into my space. People are always, can I have a hug? You feel good. Like, I like that. It says to me that I'm no longer that ugly person that I used to be, that was angry all the time, that was mad. So I've done some work on this girl, okay? Like that little girl that's within, I've had to love on her in a very special way. So November 11th, I am doing a cocktails and conversation, but this one will be set up very, very differently. We are going to do some inner work. I think it's necessary. I think it's time to call a spade a spade. I think it's time to acknowledge that some of us have shortcomings and have not reached our highest potential because that little girl still gets in the way, or that little boy for that matter. This will be a co-ed cocktails and conversation. I'm very excited about it. I'm in the planning and prepping phases right now. I have the space for it. So look out. Big things are on the horizon, but I wanted to share because things are not always peaches and cream with me. Like, I probably, have more crying spells or spells of confusion or being afraid than most people know. Like, I'm human, like I'm not a superhuman. Like, I am as human as they come. I'm very sensitive. I'm very caring, very loving. I just have a big heart, a huge heart. I want everybody to be okay. I want everybody to be in love, have love. I want everybody to be good. Like, even if it's not by way of me. All my exes, I wish them well, everybody that has crossed my path, I wish them well, whether they're friends, a day one, a day two, whoever you are. If I've crossed your path in any way, DMs, in public, I want everybody to be good. Like, I want everybody to be good. That is my prayer, because right now it's so much going on in the world that it's a lot of corruption, hatred, jealousy. Social media really has done a number on, like, us as a people. So until my next video, elevators, thank you so much for the love, the support, the outpouring love and support, the open love and support. Like, I need it. Thank you all. You just don't know like what you guys do for me. So until my next video, elevators, have a good, today Monday, have a good Monday.